Hello, the internet. Welcome to Redbox Roleplaying. I am your host, YouTube's Jason Rocket. It's been a really long time since I've done one of these, and I've got to say I'm very disappointed in myself in a way. But at the same time, it was there's not much I could do to help it. I started this channel in about February or March of 2020. I bought 3 webcams, planning on doing some drawing streams, planning on doing more RPG content, more unboxings, more trading card game videos, and the pandemic happened. And unfortunately, I was forced to work from home like everyone else I work with. And the only place for my work computer to go was my creative space, which basically is what we're in right now. Right behind that blue background are the monitors for my work computer. So as soon as I'm done shooting this, it's got to come down so I can be ready for work tomorrow. But I do intend to make more of these videos. I always have. It's just been really hard to do so when I have to basically disassemble my workstation and put up my little photo booth here, my little light box, every time I want to do something. But yes, there's quite a bit of content over here. Let's see if I can get this to unlock. I've got all these Dungeons and Dragons books I plan on talking about someday. You got the Star Wars RPG 2. Today we're going to do a fairly light topic. We are talking about dice. In particular, bulk quantities of dice. And this is mostly a thing probably for DMs. If you're a player, you need, one good set of polyhedrals pretty much. Maybe a few extra D4s for generating ability scores. If you're playing 5th edition, I guess you need 2 D20s also for advantage and disadvantage. But if you're the DM, you can never 100% count on everybody to keep up with their dice and show up with their dice at every session. So you tend to have extras. And I always have. I have my bucket o' dice. This little thing, my grandmother bought me this at a Kmart when I was like 9 or 10 years old. It's what I kept my art supplies in for a really long time. But when I started DMing my campaign in college, this became the dice bucket. So if I found good cheap dice somewhere, I would buy some. And if you forgot your dice, then you would dig around in the bucket o' dice for a suitable set. And that also sort of just became a hobby, an additional hobby, is collecting dice. I love dice, and I got tons of them. Back in the 80s and most of the 90s, I would say it was fairly difficult and fairly expensive if you wanted to have a good collection of dice. Typically, you couldn't just walk into a store and find a set of polyhedrals back then. You had to specifically go to a game shop. And very early on, like in the 70s and early 80s during first edition, usually you had to mail order polyhedral dice. These days, it's a lot easier to put together a bulk amount, and there's actually several options out there. Now, these, of course, you still have to order, but it's much easier to order online. These days, you can walk into Walmart and they have these sort of cheap boxes of what they call campaign dice, where you get 3 sets of polyhedrals in different colors. You can also go to, and it's I think that's about $8 or $9. You can also walk into Target, usually along the back wall of toys with the board games. They've got the official Dungeons and Dragons dice, which they only come in red, which are okay dice, but I do miss the. For several years, they had a cheaper set of brand of dice called Okie Dokie, which was like the translucent dice in all the gem colors, and I actually like those quite a bit more. And you'll probably see actually tend to favor the cheaper dice. I think that a lot of the times they look better. I like the translucent dice like that. But anyway, here we've got some products, and I will start with the one that most people are probably the most familiar with, and that is the Chessex Poundo dice. Alright, so this was advertised on eBay as a loose Poundo dice. So this may not be the actual, this probably isn't the actual contents of a single bag of Poundo dice. It may be that they actually just have a big bin of random Chessex dice and scoop this out. But this does look like it's fairly comparable. Now, one thing usually with the Poundo dice, you will get, there's like a special like bonus match set, and there are no match sets in this, which is why I'm fairly certain this did not come out on all one bag, and if it did, then they took the match set out. But so these range from fairly solid color, it's a solid red with green writing, I believe this color is actually called strawberry, to like marble ones. There's ones like this which is barely readable due to the pattern and coloring of the numbers. That one's pretty terrible. I want to go right in the garbage. But yeah, we just got a random assortment of dice. And this is totally random. There's no like balance to like the number of dice. I think I counted, there's like 8 or 9 D20s in here, but there's only like 5 or 6 D12s. There's tons of D10s, and there's tons of the 10 count D10s, so like the D100s, so for percentiles. There's also quite a few D4s. It's a good mix, but it's oh, and there's tons of D8s in here. I've never seen so many D8s. But it's a pretty good mix, with the exception of not quite enough D12s. I mean, D12 is probably the die I use the least, but you know, if you have a weapon that does 1d12 damage, you're gonna need a D12. And yeah, so these usually run around $30. Sometimes you can get them cheaper, like 20 to 25. Those are usually the loose ones on eBay. You can get this off Amazon.com, Walmart.com, eBay. This is pretty much the most widely, well, it's one of the 2 most widely available options. and Chessex dice supposedly are pretty well balanced and fair, so they do run relatively, random. I mean, any die can be unbalanced, but Chessex tend to be good quality, long-lasting dice. Nothing along the supposed reliability of game science for randomization. I mean, they are tumbled, they have the rounded edges. But yeah, it's a nice mix. There's lots of different colors. So if you're playing, it's a good mix. You're just going to need more D12s. If you're collecting, it's a pretty good mix. If you just want to have a lot of dice, it's a good mix. It's a good pick. If you are trying to put together match sets, then forget about it. You don't want to get this. You probably just want to buy match sets, or you want to buy bulk lots of match sets, which is what our next product is. I'll just scoot that to the side. And I kind of consider this the least interesting of the three products I'm looking at. These are Whiz Dice 100 plus pack random polyhedral dice. These are not randomly selected, I don't think. This is multiple match sets. So I don't know really what they mean by 100 by random, unless these are randomly chosen color sets from a larger subset of colors. But what we got here is we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 sets of polyhedral dice. 15 times 7 dice. So that's 105. Let's see, 70 plus 35. Yes, 105 dice. So they also come packaged neatly in these nice little packs. And there are, let's see, I think 5 of the translucent sets. Yes, purple and green. And then we have some sort of marbled ones. We've got 5 of those. And then we've got 4 solid colors, the green, black, red, and blue. So we got 15 sets. And these look pretty good. I like the solid colors and the clear ones the best, but the sort of marbly ones, they're alright as well. Yeah. And here's one of the solid ones. I didn't get a good shot of those. So yes, these are adequate. This would be quite a good purchase if, say, you were about to start a campaign and you had newish players and you wanted to give them all match sets. You get this real cheap. This was, I believe, $25. I think I've seen them even cheaper than that on eBay. And yeah, it's a good deal. If you just want a whole lot of random dice, then the pound of dice is probably your better bet, because you're just going to get more dice overall. But this has complete sets. It's got a good balance. It's one of the major polyhedrals. You got the percentile dice and the tens. So the only thing you're missing really is an extra D20 if you're playing 5th edition, and the extra D4s for generating ability scores. I'm sorry, D6s for generating ability scores. But again, D6s are like the most common die. You can take them out of your Monopoly sets if you have to. Or you can buy a 5-pack of like the Hoyle or Bicycle dice at Walmart. Super cheap. So all around, this is a pretty good product. There's tons of sellers on eBay. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Walmart.com. I think it's available on Target.com. So shop around. Look for best deals. Look for free shipping. But it's a pretty good product. I recommend it. I was actually hoping for a little more randomness, but I guess this way at least I've got a good distribution of the different dice. So this next one is probably the most interesting, but also the objectively worst of these products, depending on what you want. This is the Juvale or Juvale. I'm not sure what it is, how it's pronounced, but it's a polyhedral 120 count assorted colors by dice set, and this was $18.99 on Target.com. That's the only place I've seen it. I don't know if it's the only place it's available, but it's the only place I've seen it. It's Juvale or Juvale, Juvale. And now I don't have the packaging for this one anymore. Oh, by the way, like I said, I got this set of the Chessex dice loose. It was literally just loose. Normally they come in a sealed bag. These came just loose down in a priority box. So yeah, it's definitely not a complete assortment. So I was kind of hoping for more randomness, but not much random here. Sure, it's assorted colors, but every die of the same side number, same number of sides, has the same color. So all the D20s are blue, all the D12s are black, all the D10s are orange, and so on. Now, if you just need a lot of dice, yes, this is good. Another case this is good if you have a whole lot of new players, and if you are just teaching a whole bunch of new players, this is a great thing to have, because now you've got them color coded essentially. A lot of the old starter sets came with dice that were all in different colors. So you know, if you tell a player roll a d20, if they've never played before, they're probably going to say which one's the d20. But if you tell them roll the blue die and tell me what you roll, that's a lot easier for them. Yeah, this is actually, I find this would be a good teaching aid. And again, if you just want a whole lot of dice really cheap, it's also good for that. The one big drawback is that there are no D10s, no percentile dice, and again, no extra D20s or D6s. But D6s and D10s are among the most common dice, so not a big deal. Also, This had some pretty nice packaging. It came in a little clear jar, sort of a little canister, a hex-shaped canister, that had about the size of a soda can, and it had a screw-on lid with a little handle on it. Unfortunately, it had only been packaged in an envelope, and not even a padded envelope, just a regular plastic envelope. And so it got cracked on the way here, and it's too bad because it was a cool little package. It was basically like a smaller version of this, but with a handle. So this was $18.99. Like I said, the only place I found it is Target.com. So which of these would I say is the best? I think I would have to go with the Whiz Dice. Like if you're just collecting dice to have a bunch of dice to jump in like a Scrooge McDuck money bin, then you probably want to go with, well, actually you'd probably go with these because these are absolutely the cheapest. But if you want to have sets for your players to play with, or if you're just wanting to collect a lot of different colors but you want match sets, then I'd go with the Whiz Dice. So yeah, I just felt like buying a lot of dice, and I figured why not make a quick video showing some of the options out there. Hopefully I'll be starting a campaign soon within the next few months, and I'll be able to put some of these to use. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'm going to try to have a new video coming up soon. Specifically a Redbox role-playing coming up soon. I've got some ideas. I'm just not sure exactly which one I'm going to do yet. I'm leaning toward doing one on this channel's namesake, the original basic rule set Redbox. So I'll get to work on that. And see you soon, Internet.